match between Hakai and Diff. We have been talking through the draft. I think we'll try and get a little bit of a summary going for what we thought of those initial picks and bans, and we will try and catch up with where we are in the draft. So we have for Hakai a Ganesha, Morgan Le Fay, and Heimdallr on the order side, and then for Diff on the chaos side, we have Amazon Carb, Kraken, and Persephone. We talked a little bit about safety. We talked a little bit about aggression. In one sentence, where do you think we are right now with these two drafts, Gordon?
Well, I have a feeling that one sentence, Diff want to play this aggressively. Hakai have brought out the perfect self-peeling mid ADC combo with Morgan and Heimdall. And we have both been shocked a little bit by this Persephone pickup and unsure
Yeah.
what its plans are, but we're just hoping for the best from both teams, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that we're heading into the second half of the draft, we've seen some jungle bans come through. We've seen another carry ban come through. What are you expecting to see? What do both of these teams feel like they need to round out their comp?
Well, I wanted to say that Diff needed a jungler or a solo laner, but now I'm seeing the Atlas locked in. The Kraken is going solo lane, which gives him a great big pressure. Guan Yu locked into that Kraken and responds with a Loki from Hakai. I'm not sure if that's the best of ideas. I would not want to be a Guan Yu laning into Kraken. It's you're locked in
Any
and you've got nowhere to go.
any thoughts on Kabrak and jungle as a
Uh,
possibility?
I don't think so. Like, he gets neutralized by the Morgan and Heimdall a lot, so he
Yeah, that's
he looks a lot better off in his solo lane.
that's reasonable. Now with the Guan Yu solo, I've been looking at some stats on smitestats.gg, and Guan Yu has been sneaking up there in ranked solo lanes, a top sort of 5 or 6 solo laner, but not getting banned at all in ranked at the moment. So one of those picks that I think that we'll see ascending in the next couple of patches. Have you had a chance or seen anyone playing Guan Yu with Fey Blessed Hoops yet? Because I feel like that's got to be good on Guan.
Yes. Yes, I have seen it, and it is kind of terrifying the sustain it brings, and of course with his 3 and the slow on his 2, he's going to be sustaining, reducing your own protections, shredding through enemies, sustaining even more with Fabless, sustaining with his 1. He can bring a lot of chaos to the battlefield, and of course his ultimate that cavalry charge, it's just, well, it can be a big impact depending on how it's played.
Well, it looks like we are just about ready to head into game 1 between Hakai and Diff. Gordon, we've seen both the drafts. We've seen what these teams are prioritizing. How do you think this one's going to play out? Give me a prediction for this first game.
Well, if I had to predict anything, I can only predict based off of lanes, what I'm seeing. As we know, it's a big team game. If the laning phase, I want to believe that the Amusing Cab is going to win, at least the early. Likewise, the Persephone and Kabrakan, all of them have good early potential, good early clear. I want to believe in Diff's potential if they pull ahead early and make a big difference. And
Well,
not
you've heard it
drop in.
from Gordon96, but we will have to see how this game plays out in game itself. We've seen of those early things to pick up on. We've seen Guan Yu starting Bluestone and Tier 1 Earring, which does suggest going into those Fey Blast hoops early and perhaps helping out with Guan's early mana issues. And then Kabrakan, as you predicted, over in the solo lane, and with that Tier 2 Bancroft start. Are we going to see the Rangda's Mask Kabrakan come out here?
It could be a possibility. For now, I just know that whatever he's going to pick up later, right now, the Bancroft is the best choice to just rush it down early. You've already got MP5 from Blue Buff. Sustain as much as you can, kill wave fast.
Well, we'll have to see how this lane plays out. Two gods with a lot of sustain, thanks to the items and abilities they bring. Going to be battling it out over here in the solo lane. They're going to be those primary engages. Lots of damage onto the Kraken early, and that tier 1 tier Bancroft's not helping with this early sustain. I think a lot of people forget about the damage coming out from Taolu Assault, but with some of those extra prots and health coming through for these gods in 9.5, no risk of death early, but that's a good pick up there by the Atlas. About 50% health there for Ginger Archer, but not gonna fall down just about now. All that pressure coming through that you took. Oh, Blink though, coming through onto the Loki for the big man Jesus out of the jungle, and here come the Tremors. Good lockdown onto the Order side team, but they are the healthier ones coming out of the scrap. There comes the Blink through from Lena, and not quite able to catch up just yet with Mirandus, but damage coming through from Big Joe. Gets the kill, and Big Joe gets a double kill. That's gonna be a huge lead over here for Hakai.
That was an incredible play from both Lena and Big Joe right now. They knew not to back off. They knew they had the sustain, so they just kept at it, and it paid off.
It can feel really difficult to commit to a play like that early, especially when the other team blinks onto you. We saw Big Man Jesus being the one to start that aggression off, and I have to agree with you there, Gordon. Sticking with that play paid off massively for Hakai, and it looks like they're going to keep that aggression up as they try and get these mid harpies. Despite perhaps picking the lower pressure picks in their lanes, it does appear that they're getting this early leads, which is something that's going to help, because I feel like they've got a better late game as a team. Does that feel right to you?
Yes, it does indeed. And I just want to point out, I believe Mitch might have just saved Ginger's life there, the one for that silence. Nacho looked like he was going to pick him up.
Yeah, and I feel like having seen this Ganesha so early in the draft, do you think it was a mistake to pick Atlas into Ganesha, or at least for the laning phase, because your abilities are so telegraphed, and if Ganesha holds on to that silence, does that matchup feel bad to you?
A little bit, yeah, because on the defensive side, I think it's actually, you're forcing the other god to be aggressive. They're both way off in a being defensive in this case. Atlas cannot be aggressive into Ganesh, and of course, likewise other way around. If Ganesh overcommits onto the Atlas, he'll just be picked up and carried away.
And then,
so I wouldn't call it a mistake. I would just say it's more.
It's a difficult one to call. No, I think you're right. And then on top of that, these are both hunters that can develop a lot of pressure between the AA chain on the side of Heimdallr and all of the ability damage coming out from AMC. So it just feels like a weird lane to try and navigate if you're either of these teams.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, both of these ADCs were on the winning team last season. GSL, the lower division. So, might be interesting to see if we've got any, not salty history, but any, friendly, a little friendly, I've forgotten the proper words in English right now.
Rivalry?
Rivalry, yes, thank you.
I think we'll especially see that come out once these supports leave lane and we enter that boxing phase for these ADCs. But I think we're about a level or two away from that. And heading back over to our discussion about this Guan Yu, we've seen the Fabless Hoops rushed over here in the solo lane. So both of these gods, I think that early kill onto Mirandus could be the only kill we see over this side of the map for a little while.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't count him out just yet. He has no protections. If Lina decides to tank him again and they play their combos, both their ultimates well, could be another kill for Hakai.
I think we're playing. Are we not playing since the Jake where they added 60 magical protections onto Fabless Hoops?
Yes, I believe. Yes, it's there,
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. The Mirandus has no protection.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I got you. Sorry, still learning these players' names.
Oh,
of course. Yeah. And we're seeing that right now as Taolu Assault continues to do exactly what that ability has done since it was buffed a little while ago. And Mirandus sitting at about 50% HP, things over in the duo side of the map sticking about as we would expect them to. Both sides able to pick up their own purple buffs again. So neither ADC looking particularly advantaged at this stage of the game. And we're starting to see supports roam over to mid. There looks like a good angle being taken by Mr. Nacho, but looks like he must have got picked up on a ward somewhere as official Cheeto is able to back safely, and nothing comes of that. Looks like we might see a little bit of a scrap in the jungle as Big Man Jesus spots out Mitch's play
Looking a bit
towards
out of
the
position
oracles.
there, but
Yeah,
he's safe.
yeah, it
Interesting
looks.
what you said about the ADCs, because I think right now that Ginger cannot hope to walk up to clear minions without
Mm.
at least losing 100 or 200 HP to these, which really puts him in a unfortunate position.
It really does, and it leaves him vulnerable to losing purple buffs, to losing cups, to losing those side nagas. I guess the one positive that you have there is your opposing ADC opened up a little bit more to gank, so we'll have to watch where it is that Lina looks to appear on the map. But right now, Mitch is getting caught up in the middle lane. A lot of CC coming down onto this Ganesha, but is able to stay nice and healthy. There's 10 stacks, 11 stacks on the Thebes. They're not going to keep you alive for a lot of damage, but we're just enough there. And now it looks like it's the Order side team looking to take up space in the jungle. Although nothing really up for them to take just about now, so they are going to be waiting on these mid-harpies. But even still, these early mid-harpies, despite the game slowing down a little bit, it feels like they can really add up for your team. But now we have the jungle and support duo. Oh, they were spotted out, but there comes the ult down from Loki. Here comes the two good Dharmic pillars, able to get some damage. Here comes the Kabrakan ult to try and buy some space, but Miranda's out scot-free, and no return fire onto Hakai. A couple ults down there for Hakai, one big ult for Ping Diff. Oh, back in goes Big Man Jesus, but I think just looking to pick up some minions. So a couple of resources traded there, but it feels like no real big outcome for either team.
I want to point out, Ping Diff, despite having dropped 2 deaths, are 600 gold up, well, 500 gold on the lead, which is good advantage.
Where does that come from? Because it does feel like they've not necessarily, other than over in the Stewart side, it feels like they've not necessarily had the pressure to pick up a lot of farm.
I wouldn't know where to say. It might be...
Through the Realms. Sorry, gonna have to cut you out there. Through the Realms goes AMC, and he's gonna land with a little bit of health left, but Ginger Archer is the one to pick up the kill. And not being under fire from bees, this is gonna give Ginger Archer some time to farm up with a little bit of security. It's gotta feel good for Ginger Archer over there in that lane.
Yet, Ping Diff still maintains the gold lead. I am not sure where it's exactly come from. It might be Nacho is getting more assists on minions than Mitch.
Yeah, it's not even like there's one starter that appears to be causing any kind of extra gold gain. Both are on benevolence, so as you say, it may just be that there's a little bit more efficient farming going on. As Mr. Nacho spotted out again, forced back over to that duo lane, is gonna back, although again pinged out. So it looks like they are on the hunt, although nothing comes of it, and instead just gonna hang around, try and take up some space, get some more vision around this Gold Fury. Maybe Big Man Jesus will try something, but it looks like that isn't the case, and instead we are gonna focus back on the farming. Both pause coming out. Both these teams, Gordon, feel like they're playing this incredibly safe. Do you want to see more aggression coming out from Ping Diff?
Yes, yes, most definitely. They, as I mentioned, they have. It feels like they have a better earlier aggression in their own lanes, respective lanes.
Mhm.
So, as long as they can keep, well, actually, I take it back because they're farming quite well. So, why bother? Why bother overextending into something when their farm is already paying off?
Mhm. That's a reasonable response. I respect that. But it does feel like at some point they're going to need to transition that farming into a bit of an advantage. So is there somewhere you want to see them look? Do you want to see them play around this AMC a little bit more? Do you want to see them play around mid? Where do you want to see them focus their attention to use that farm?
Well, I have definitely seen Sparky pushed up a lot into the other side of the map on that AMC. So I wouldn't mind if his team decided to help him out, play more around the enemy purple and red buff, see if he
Mhm.
could invade that. Because if the AMC's already got the aggression, he's going to get ganked,
Right.
and you want to avoid that. You want to help him as much as you can. See, like right now, we can see Pain
Helena
Valley's on.
heading over. Does look like Ginger Archer has given away the game. There is going to be a gank, but Sparkfire is deep behind enemy lines. There comes the Assassinate. Not enough damage coming out just yet on Sparkfire. That movement speed is coming in clutch. Decent peel coming through, and it's Big Man Jesus with the Bat Out of Hell that gets the first kill in this engagement. But now Ginger Archer is out of luck and almost out of HP. They do have a little bit left, but Sparkfire gets the kill through. The Stinger was used as well, and through the realms, not enough self-heal there for Ginger Archer. Good double kill over onto the duo lane, and it looks like Ping Diff aren't done. They have seen Vile Blood Mitch is hanging around here, but they're going to turn that over to the Gold Fury, so transitioning their aggression in the duo lane towards one of these big neutral objectives, and they do seem to be unafraid of any kind of contest coming through. There goes the Dharmic Pillars. That's your attempt to secure, and Ping Diff are able to secure this through all of that aggression coming out from Hakai, and it looks like Hakai have overstayed their welcome. Official Cheeto taken down by Sparkfire as well, and it's just the support. Vile Blood Mitch looking on as their team falls around them. What went wrong there, Gordon?
Well, I don't know where to start. Back in the duo lane, I believe that was the gank, the intention there from Ginger and Lina. I don't know if they were completely in sync with their ideas.
Things looked like they were going so well. They had Sparkfire
Yeah.
so caught out, and then suddenly, Lena's dead. Ginger
Yeah.
Archer is dead, and then we lose
think-
another one over the Gold Fury.
Lina might have used her ultimate preemptively, like knowing the amusing tab is already trapped on your side of the map. You don't have
Right.
to teleport towards him. Just keep chasing him down, and then when he gets away, you ult towards him.
And
I
it
would
feels like
assume.
with Loki as well, without a movement ability, other than that ult, if you use that early, you kind of lose any chase down potential as well. So it does feel like perhaps a little bit overzealous. Ginger Archer getting poked out, and Sparkfire winning the 1v1 this time. And I think even if Lena does make an attempt here, you're a level 9 Loki looking at a level 12 Amusum Calb who is pretty much full HP here. This can't go well. But still deciding to go in, Lena does drop the 2, does get some decent damage off, but now has to use the ult just to get away to safety. Already getting up a huge lead over there in the duo lane is Sparkfire, but we move from the duo lane to the mid lane as Bat Out of Hell secures another one. Official Cheeto falling again, and Ping Diff taking that good farming that you were talking about earlier, Gordon, turning that into some impressive fights here in the mid game, and now a second global or a second neutral objective coming through, and it looks like only Big Joe is going to be in a position to take it away. And despite all attempts by the front line of Hakai, second global objective goes down to Ping Diff. This is looking great for them.
Oh, my bad. My mic was off. Messi's very, very serious gaming. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Ping Diff took the early advantage. We took the farm and we turned it into something big right now. Sparky here sitting 2 levels up on Ginger. This could be an early. I don't want to jinx it, but this could be an early win for Ping Diff.
It does feel like the game is firmly in their hands. They're 6,000 gold up, and they're winning where it matters. Their ADC is ahead and is going to get into late game feeling really powerful. They've already got good pressure in the jungle, good pressure in mid. I think you're right. They've turned that early lead into something that's going to add up for them as the game goes on. Where do you want to see them look now that they've established presence across the map? What do you think is the key to victory for this team?
For Ping Diff?
Yeah, for Ping Diff.
Definitely pushing, getting Big Joe out of the game right now. And a good fire giant in the next 7 minutes.
There's a
Well,
lot
but Mitch
committed
is, of
there
course,
to kill
blown up.
Vile Blood Mitch. And yeah, despite fully stacked Thieves completely blown up, and now
I do.
probably to
I
look
do.
for a big objective. Oh, carry on, carry on.
Oh, sorry. No, I just wanted to point out. I want to believe that Mitch didn't die there for no reason. He
Mhm.
honorably sacrificed his life for Cheeto, who had no beef.
Mhm.
But, well, let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
As those support instincts kicking in, as we see a fight over the cup here, but Ginger Archer, you may have committed too much for a small prize. The Sparkfire gets another kill over in this duo lane, and it feels like at this point this duo lane is firmly won for Ping Diff.
That is most unfortunate. I would not expect a Heimdall having the passive and the free as two abilities that reveals anyone nearby you. I would not expect him to get crept up on so easily by an amusing cap.
Yeah, it's not like a Musen Cub is particularly mobile. You have the movement speed, but it's not like you've got a elite. Oh, here comes the ult from Lina. Does get the beads out from Mr. Nacho, who's able to use the 2 to pull Lina away, and Lina is now on the run. Stinger goes down. Lots of damage coming out, but just healthy enough to escape is Lina. There's the miss from the Kamazots 1, and Kamazots is gonna catch. Oh, the juke boots are on. Lena's gonna get out of this one alive.
Oh, wow.
Wow, and it's Ginger Archer getting the kill in that engagement onto Big Man Jesus. Was Lena baiting all along or just lucky in that one?
No, I want to believe Lino had that all calculated. She walked out just how she wanted to.
That was a lot of confidence in that play, a lot of faith in your ability to press keys well, and it paid off for Hakai. A kill there onto the jungler, that's going to be good. Helps your own jungler catch up. Getting some resources over to Ginger Archer, who has had a rough old game so far. That's got to feel good for Hakai, although not a lot they can transition that to. Although getting the Aegis out from Benadryl Barry, that's going to help out a little bit too. Cheeto's beads go down again. The shell's committed to keep Cheeto alive, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough. Beads coming out from Mirandus to try and keep the chase down going, but official Cheeto getting out of the one scot-free. Or perhaps not scot-free, as they did lose both of their relics, but not dying there feels important for where Hakai are in this game right now.
Started up, I think.
No one around for Hakai. It doesn't look like anyone's noticed. But would you like to see them contest here, or do you feel like it's better for them to just farm up where they can on the map?
I would have liked to see, well, at least Ginger tried to steal it with his one from behind the wall, but I don't think any of them noticed. It's rather unfortunate. Ping Diff do not need this, from Hakai's point of view, Ping Diff do not need this extra lead right now.
Right, they are falling continually behind, and whilst we've seen them fare a little bit better in some of these fights in the last couple of minutes, things aren't looking great for them. It's a lot of pressure coming down mid. They Ping Diff have been able to group up a little bit earlier. They now have Oni waves coming down every lane.
By the time we take down this trebuchet, we're gonna have the Oni minions in front of them. Guan Yu looking in a rough position here.
Yeah, it does look to be caught out by 3. Mr. Nacho and Benadryl Barry are on their way. Does have to use the cavalry charge to get out, but it does get out all the same. But now, without that ultimate available, it's gonna be a lot harder for Hakai to have any kind of engagement onto Ping Diff. If things come up, and the Pyromancer is up over here on the other side for Ping Diff, and it looks like that's going to be comfortably taken for them, and they're going to be well positioned for a Fire Giant. Would you like to see them take that right now, or do you think there's more fighting to be done before energy?
No need right now to take an energy fight. Unless you know you're looking to set up a trap, I would not take an FG fight right here. It would just mean losing a lot of health for no reason before a big fight. Everyone is alive, everyone. Oh, Ginger Ray's on the wrong side of the map for the fight.
Well, I can see where you're coming from, but does it not feel better if your ADC is this far behind to try and catch up, get some gold in their pocket from towers?
Definitely, get gold, get towers, but it does mean, as we've mentioned, they can start up FG right now.
And it looks like that is on the menu here for Ping Diff. All of them grouped up, although Mr. Nacho out of the way. There goes the tectonic shift coming out from the Cabrakan. Does force the cavalry charge from Big Joe, but Big Joe, that at 50% HP, that healing from Guan Yu is going to come in handy, but the retreat was called fully here by Hakai and Ping Diff. Able to group up as 5 on the Fire Giant, and Miranda's looking to zone efficiently. Does get stunned out by the Assassinate, but it's not going to be enough to nearly threaten it. Sparkfire gets the kill, and the FG going down the way of Ping Diff. They're going to look over at right lane, and it feels like we are very much moving towards the end of this game.
I feel like that was well thought out from the very beginning from Pingdiff. Atlas still had the ultimate ready for the second attempt on the FG. And the moment we arrived there, he popped it down, started reducing its protections, and his team just went wild. Well thought out plans, I believe, and Pingdiff are showing a lot of restraint here. I love it.
Yeah, I feel like this has become one of the things we've noticed as competitive Smite has maybe matured over the last couple of seasons, is that teams feel like they really want to play patiently around their FG buffs. It's gone from being back in season 6 where you'd get FG at like 15 minutes and oh, Benadryl Barry not paying attention, forced to use the beads and the Aegis, but it does look like they are going to get out. Morgan Le Fay does go into the ultimate, and Official Cheeto able to pick up a kill onto their opposing number. That should help out a little bit, getting the Fire Giant buff off of the enemy mid laner, getting a kill. But Hakai are going to have to do a lot more than get the odd pick to get back into this game.
Yeah, we're going to need a lot more than that, definitely. It is good, it's juicy, it helps them a lot, especially getting the FG off of him, but...
Now, if you're Hakai, you're probably going to be looking to mount a defense anytime soon. How do you feel about this team's siege defense?
How do I put this out? Honestly, it would be great if we weren't looking at a Cabrakan, Atlas, and a Musing Cab on the other side. Well, and Persephone, who can just dole out a lot of damage from far away and get up in your face whenever they want. With the level lead, as long as they have FG, Pingdiff are looking like they should be sieging right now. I'm not sure about why they're waiting so long around Gold Fury. Honestly.
Well, we will have to see. I think at this point, if I'm Pingdiff, putting the foot on the gas feels like the right thing to do, and there's still with 4 members with FG, there's still 2 tier 2s up on the map, which are going to be... Oh, I can't do the math in my head quickly enough, but that feels like that's got to be at least worth the same as a Gold Fury, if not a little bit more.
I believe it is a little bit more.
And it's
and
perhaps if that had been...
It does reduce the Titan's total health by the time you get to the Titan.
And opens up more of the map to you. I think the one argument that I could see for taking that Gold Fury there is if it had been an Oni Fury, that's probably going to feel good for sieging into these towers, but it feels like Pingdiff are playing incredibly carefully here. Is there something that you can see on the side of Hakai that you'd really be scared of right now of your Pingdiff? You know, grouped up as 5, FG on 4 members. What's threatening you right now?
Nothing. I don't think anything is a big threat for them. They've got the level lead. The moment Bellblood Mage tries to peel or engage, he's going to get blown up. Big Joe, obviously, yes, he can still be a big threat. He's got the health, he's got the protections. But
and crucially,
in comparison.
Crucially, that cooldown as well for Guan Yu, very important on this god. But I say, just playing it carefully here, and it looks like they're going to be well set up for this next Fire Giant. If you're Hakai, do you try and defend Fire Giant, or are you going to look to split push the map, try and get some of these towers, try and catch up through the global gold you can get there? What's your move now if you're Hakai?
I would prepare wards around the FG. I only see one on the map, and as well, I would try and push that mid tower. If if Ping Diff are going to be grouped around VFG, you can cle freely clear wave in mid and hope that it just pushes itself down at this point.
Mm. Yeah, lots of minions, lots of time for Hakai, but it feels like they're just not quite rolling over, but it feels like it's been a while since we've seen signs of life come out from this team, and understandably 13k down has got to feel demoralizing. But it has to come down to something for Hakai. This could be your last shot in game one, as the Fire Giant is respawned and Ping Diff have already established their front around the Fire Giant. They're going to be looking to engage. Maybe it'll be the Atlas picking up a member. Maybe it's going to be down to Miranda's heading in, getting those walls down. We're going to have to see. Instead, it looks like Hakai are just offering Ping Diff space to start up this Fire Giant. Magi's bubble has been popped for Mr. Nacho, so he could be vulnerable, but Ping Diff able to take down the FG, and now are just gonna surge forward looking for members of Hakai. They do block their own assault a little bit there with the Kabrakan ult and forcing out that Bat Out of Hell defensively from Big Man Jesus. But Big Joe looking unhealthy right now, saved a little bit by those Fablessed hoops, and the Dark Pillars buying some time here for Hakai to set up their defense around this Phoenix, but none of them looking particularly comfortable. All of their ults are down. It's gonna be a tough fight for them here to defend. Plenty of sustain coming out. Mr. Nacho does get low though. Big Joe gets the first kill. Ginger Archer picking up a kill onto Mirandus. That's the front line down for Ping Diff. Now what can Hakai make happen here? Vile Blood Mitch getting low. Bees are going to be the end of Vile Blood Mitch, and this fight is going on for a long time. Aegis able to buy Sparkfire. Just a little bit extra life, and Phoenix doesn't fall. You take the two frontliners, FGs, away. Oh, Phoenix finally going down there for Ping Diff. But getting rid of FG on two members, getting some kills, and getting that Phoenix to survive for at least a little bit, that's going to feel good for Hakai, right?
It feels good for a little bit, but once you start realizing how much damage that Phoenix can do in the long run, no, I don't think they'll take a lot of. We'll be very happy about it.
Those two kills, though.
The kills definitely were. Yes.
Yeah, and especially I feel like it's always a conversation of who do you most want Fire Giant buff on, but your frontliners benefit so much from having that extra sustain. Although it feels like the backliners are making good use of that power buff as well now for Ping Diff too.
I would feel like the frontliners with FG gonna need to take 2 or 3 more shots from Phoenixes, whereas the ADCs with an FG only, that's what, 1 shot less for them to take down the Phoenix. So yes, I do believe it might be more worth to have it on your frontliners.
Well, frontliners have respawned here for Ping Diff, and they are shadowing over to this left-hand side. Hakai positioning as well. Looks like they're expecting the siege to come down here. Maybe looking for a split, as Lina does head over to that mid, but instead, all members grouping up over here on this left-hand side. The Trebuchet has spawned, but it hasn't been moved down the lane at all. So it looks like they're not going to have that available to them for this fight, but Ping Diff are heading into the Phoenix to get forced out, but it's Mirandus who gets this fight started off. There come the walls down from Kabrakan and Benadryl, able to get the kill with that grasp of death. Being chased out is Lina, so they are not going to be helpful for the rest of the fight, and the Phoenix goes down, Sparkfire being the one to put down the killing blow. Good fear coming out there from official Cheeto, but it's not going to be enough as the Bat Out of Hell is taking down their health bar, and Sparkfire is the one to put them in the dirt. Mirandus gets Lina, and now all focus has turned towards the Titan. It's down to you, Ginger Archer, it's down to you, Vile Blood Mitch, but Vile Blood Mitch is going to fall, and the Titan goes down for Ping Diff. A lot to like from their performance in that late game there. But for me, it really comes down to the front line for Ping Diff. They play their hearts out there, Gordon.
That was very, very well played from both teams. Hakai tried their hardest, but ultimately I want to think I was never really happy with this Guan Yu pick
Mhm.
into the Bracken. Yes, Big Joe did play well. He did do a lot for his team. But when that last team fight, when he got locked out from his whole team and died immediately, Mitch still being level 15 at this moment, he couldn't defend alone for his team. I'm not putting this on the Guan Yu pick. I'm just saying I would have liked something else that could help his team a little bit more in those moments.
And it
And
felt
went
like
get
when
caught.
to linger on those picks a little bit longer as well, it felt like in the draft phase we heaped praise on this Ganesha for Vile Blood Mitch, but the dive coming out from Ping Diff just felt too much, even for a peel heavy god like Ganesha. You even brought up in draft. You got great self peel coming out from Morgan Le Fay and Heimdallr. What more could you have wanted for Hakai in this draft? It feels like the draft should have been great into this match. So what are you looking at to regroup for game two here if you're Hakai?
I would honestly think about what happened in the time frame from getting 3 kills to being
Hmm.
600 gold behind.
Mm,
That was definitely what sounded weird to me. Someone has pointed in chat, Persephone passive,
hmm.
but even with I was looking at the gold per minute, and even so, with the Persephone passive, Persephone did not have that much of a difference on Cheeto. It
Yeah,
was the
I was
whole
gonna
team making up
say
the difference.
it felt like a while before official Cheeto really fell behind in that matchup to Benadryl Barry. So I I agree with the fact that Persephone passive can create a lot of gold, but I think you're right to spot that mid lane matchup wasn't done and dusted early on. That wasn't the only place where the advantage was being made for Ping Diff. So there's gotta be more that was going on. What do you think Ping Diff did right? And what would you like to see them prioritize to try and put this set away?
I think that what we did best was their farming
Mhm,
and not overcommitting as much as I wanted in some moments because they proved that being patient at some moments paid off for them. Those fire giants, the way the whole team disengaged to chase down, I believe it was the Guan Yu, Big Joe,
mhm,
and then turned back, finished up the fire giant, and then went through clearing the jungle. That was very well played. The restraint showed there it was very professional. It was well played.
that first fire giant felt so crucial to the way that this game played out. I think the way that they were able to transition that into controlling the rest of the map, really smothering out the ability that Hakai would have had to try and claw back any resources in the game was impressive. My concern perhaps was that they didn't use it well enough early on. We saw them, if you remember, with that first Fire Giant buff, they sat around at Gold Fury at one point waiting for Gold Fury to spawn, leaving towers up on the map.
Yes. Yeah,
It,
they stood there for what I believe was 15, 20 seconds. They could have taken the towers first very easily if it would not have been contested and
Mhm.
then went for the gold on their way back.
It's one of those moments where sometimes you have to weigh up, are we giving, by not doing anything, are we giving the enemy team the opportunity to come back into this game? And it's always one of those tough things to question a shot caller because as casters, we're not there in the game. We're not
No.
having to make those decisions
Yeah,
on the
yeah, we're not in the
fly.
heat of the moment, yeah.
But at the same time, it does feel like sometimes you are creating opportunities for your opponent, and it's important to think about those. Now we're heading into game two. I'm gonna put you in the hot seat. You're the coach of Hakai. Are you going first pick or second pick here?
I would want first pick here right now.
Mhm. and you're heading into picks and bans. Is there anything you feel like Ping Diff showed you and you've just got to ban that?
Atlas. I want to say the Atlas. It
Hmm.
proved to be a nuisance. The protection shred from the ultimate is too much to handle.
Hmm.
The especially right now in this current meta, tanks count on those protections way too much. If you're being reduced 50%, I believe, from Atlas ultimate, and then another 40% from a Musencap ultimate, what are you? How are you hoping to survive?
Yeah, yeah, it's a good point. I hadn't thought about those overlapping protection shreds coming through. I think I always think about the comp that I want to see put together at some point, and I know it will be bad, but some combination of AMC, Nemesis, Atlas, and Guan Yu, just all of the protection shred in one comp. But it feels
Oh
it feels like it's too much to ask,
God,
especially with
yeah,
some of
please
those gods
no.
being such high priority at the moment.
Uh, that would be a support's worst nightmare.
Hmm. Yeah, no frontliners for the enemy team whatsoever. As we head into picks and bans for game two, Kepri, Yu Huang, and Kali banned for Ping Diff. And on the side of Hakai in this first ban phase, it looks like we are seeing Cupid, Lancelot, and Raven banned. So Atlas on the table still, but not only Atlas, we're seeing Kabrakan back on the table. We're seeing AMC back on the table. All those picks available to Ping Diff, who have been given first pick here. What do you want to see first pick out of Ping Diff?
Ooh. Oh, I wouldn't know what to say, really. I don't think there was anything special. Oh, but a Kabrakan highlighted that would be interesting. Kabrakan did do a great in the first game. Uh, why not go again? If it worked, it worked.
Yeah, and after a little bit of a rough start, giving up those 2 kills over in the solo lane, Miranda's really settled down, and I don't think like there's any one player that you can really highlight for Ping Diff in game one as being a hard carry, but Miranda's was present and certainly the primary engage for all of the fights that we saw as the game went on. So I'm not particularly surprised to see the Kabrakan re-picked up here, but do you want to see Miranda's for Pink Diff in the solo lane again? Do you want to see Kabrakan over in Miranda's hands again, or do you want to see that maybe flexed into support or jungle at all?
I would personally want to wait here
Hmm.
because before deciding on that because it's we see a Artio and Ram locked in. Now I would send Kabrakan to the support role.
Okay.
Now that I see the Rama and Artio, definitely that's where I'd send it. No questions asked.
Interesting.
The thing is, I think Kabrakan can be very easily countered in solo lane, and if they show their hand too early, that could be a Shiva locked in for Hakai. Kabrakan is stuck.
Hmm. What about? But do you not think this RTO is likely to be in the solo lane then?
I cannot think of anyone that would pick Artio into Kabrakan.
Mhm.
Not personally, I would not want to do that to myself. As a person who has played a lot of solo lane and has played a lot of Artio, I am afraid of Kabrakan.
Mm. So you're thinking this is RTO solo, or sorry, RTO
Yeah,
support
support, yes.
for
Either
Hakai.
that or Big Joe is going to teach me a big valuable lesson.
Well, take notes on the matchup as we see this one progress. But over on the side of Ping Diff, we have seen Artemis and Daji locked in. I feel like the Daji one makes a lot of sense to me. We saw Daji banned in the last game. How do you feel about this Artemis?
I I don't know what to think because if this RTO is support, which I hope, because I wouldn't, as mentioned before, if this RTO is support, Artemis is a good lock-in. You've got the Caledonian board to save you from any issues that RTO could cause. And, well, of course, you don't have a dash that Ram is going to cripple. So if
Mm,
he dashes on you, you just go full on him.
mm. And I feel like Artemis feels really good in those 1v1s that you take over in the duo lane with things like Tusky. You can either, as you say, you can use it to help you get out of CC. You can use it to lock down your opponent to try and kit dump onto them. And even against this ROM, if the ROM goes into the Astral Barrage, you can wait out the snipes and then use Tusky to catch the ROM on
Tusky
landing.
and leave a lot of traps underneath. And
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, this feels like it's going to be a tough one for Ginger Archer on the Rama. We end our first pick phase with the Baba Yaga picked up for presumably official Cheeto in the mid lane. And we see Persephone and Eset banned by Hakai, and Pingdiff are going to ban Hunbat and Geb, so support and jungler. And then two mages, one of them seen more often in support than mid for...
But still a good counter to Baba.
Mhm,
Eset is definitely a pain in Baba's backside, because
mhm,
the moment she tries to escape, she's just got to get silenced or stunned. The Persephone, I think it's because Matt has proven he can be a nuisance with it. Matt
mhm.
being, sorry, oh no,
Okay.
wait, sorry, the wrong way around. I Love Mothers is Benadryl Barry.
Mhm.
Was Persephone last game. I got confused there. But still, I don't know actually why the Persephone ban.
The either way, we're no more Persephone uh for either team as we move into this second pick phase. Bastet picked up for Hakai, and I don't know how to feel about this. I feel like Bastet really dropped off with the last round of nerfs onto this god. Is there anywhere that you like seeing this god anymore?
Uh, no, no. This god, I did not like seeing it in the enemy team, because
Mm.
I think she's quite strong right now. With the recent buffs she got a few weeks ago, she is a bit stronger than people have realized. I think that's just
So
my impression of her.
so are you expecting to see this jungle or solo? Because it feels like the last time we saw Bastet, it was more often over in the solo lane than in the jungle.
Uh, oh, you've got me doubting on that one, but I would put it in the jungle.
Mhm.
I would hope, because it's again a bad pick into Kabrakan, I believe. But never mind that, because Kabrakan is support. Zonkui,
Young time, baby.
Zonkui looking for solo action. Amusing cab in the mid. Someone correct me here.
I feel like that's got to be right, unless we're seeing ranked strats and we're gonna see AMC solo and Zhong mid, but I feel like that's less likely than the Zhong solo. I I don't think I've seen Zhong solo properly though since season 6. And I don't think it seems like a great idea in season 9 of Smite. But what do I know? As we head into game, we have Pingdiff on the order side, Hakai on the chaos side, and as we head into game, it does look like Mirandus is gonna be given the Zhongkui, so it's gonna be Zhongkui solo. Big Man Jesus on the Daji in the jungle, Benadryl Barry in mid lane on AMC, Mr. Nacho in support with that Kabrakan, and then Sparkfire in the ADC role with Artemis, and then on the Chaos side, Hakai have Big Joe in solo with the RTO, Lena in the jungle with the Bastet, Baba Yaga in mid for official Cheeto, Vileblood Mitch is going to be playing support as Xing Chen, and then Ginger Archer will be on the Ram. I feel like we were doubting a lot of Hakai's draft going into this, Gordon. Is that fair to say that that we're not confident with what they're going to do this game?
All my expectations have been turned around.
Is
So
that
Big
are you
Joe,
just
Big
thrown
Joe
for a
has
loop
picked
by
up
the genre?
Artio into the solo lane.
Mhm.
I'm surprised Miranda's just didn't stick to Vicar Bracken in this case, but fair enough. He opted for his own Kui. I am confused here. I don't think Ping Diff has enough magical damage. If I'm Bellblood's Mitch, I would just brush this off here and just negate everything from Ping Diff. Just decide on how to play the game. Tell them, no, this is how we're gonna play it. I'm gonna run around with Sov. You're going to do nothing. This is all my jungle now.
And look, sovereignty is a great item in support, right? It's a great item in support. It's good in solo. I think that item's unreal on Xingqian as well, because
Oh yeah.
you get so much HP 5 from the passive, and then so much HP 5 from Xingqian passive, and you just don't die. You just heal up whatever happens to you. I think you're absolutely right to make that call about heading into the sovereignty early, but it looks like Vileblood Mitch is going to instead go for that glowing emerald and some kind of green tree item, either the Mail of Renewal, which we see pretty often, or the Thebes. I think we saw Thebes from both players last game, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen here. But
What saddens me, because Mail of Renewal is really good right now, at least in my opinion.
yeah, item's great. I really like that item. I think it's particularly good as well because you can get magical spikes early.
Yes.
And so,
especially.
yeah, it just feels great to run at people and then heal up all of the damage. But looks like both supports not wanting to run at people and heal up all of their damage. They instead looking presumably to play a little bit more traditional, a little bit more supporty, and Ping Diff going for that early scrap. I don't think either team has kill potential here, although Ginger Archer did get a little bit poked out, but Benadryl Barry looking worse where the cat isn't going to get the root, but does get a lot of damage down onto the AMC, although able to retreat to the safety of the tier 1 tower. But I feel like if you're AMC and you're losing mid pressure early, things have gone wrong for you.
I think he survived because he placed a beehive on his way out and walked away.
Oh,
with
the
6
heal
HP.
from the beehive?
Yeah, he walked away with I think 6 HP.
No.
If that is true, I am shocked.
No way. Well, folks, you heard it here or there. Keep that ability up just in case you need the tiniest amount of HP.
And the tiniest amount of regen. Yeah, wow.
Well, Benadryl Barry living on the edge and unpunished, as even the beads remain up for Benadryl Barry, so maybe losing a little bit of farm there over to Hakai, but Ping Diff starting up where they left off. It's an incremental lead, but this team won off of an incremental lead last game. And I think based on what we saw over on the duo side, I think they're just, after last game, willing to play things with a little bit more confidence. Do you think that confidence is going to be a big deal for this team, or do you think Hakai are able to shake off that game 1 loss and say, you know, it's back to 0-0. We've got all of our towers again. We just get to play this like it's a fresh set.
Well, at least knowing Ginger and Mitch's mentalities, I know that they are perfectly fresh. I haven't spoken so much with the other team members, but I know that they have a good team next to them. All of them are solid players. We shouldn't let their mentals be affected.
Well, we will have to see as the game goes on. Here comes Big Man Jesus looking for a gank onto Cheeto, but Cheeto able to blast away with that cauldron. But the pressure is favoring Ping Diff here, and Big Man Jesus able to stroll through this jungle. It doesn't look like another gank opportunity is available to them, so we'll just take these oracles here, which is going to help out. Put a little bit of gold into that back pocket, help you with a little bit of XP.
Slowly crawling away with the gold lead.
It's like you pointed out last game, and this game we know for sure it can't be the Persephone passive as well.
Oh, if we were to see the golden hand of each player, I believe it might be. Oh, no, sorry, not golden hand. Go for a minute. I am not the smartest of players. Okay. Moving cab, slowly moving away. And
here.
Miranda.
Bastet ult Huntress of Bast comes out, does miss, and Benadryl Barry though able to get out of the root. Blink committed there by Big Man Jesus, but no follow-up as it looks like Lina is going to get out of there with their life intact and their mana bar completely depleted. Going to help out Big Joe pick up their own blue buff, but a lot committed there with the Bastet ult and nothing to show for it as we continue to see Benadryl Barry really dominate pressure-wise and in this mid lane. And it's one of those things where it's not going to feel like a lot right now if you're Hakai, but AMC, once this god gets rolling, he feels hard to stop.
It is, as you just said, it is a scary pick come late game. If Matt can pull off a farm, then if Benadryl Barry can pull off a farm, then as it was showed last game, AMC will be a force to be reckoned with.
It's interesting to me. Perhaps you have some insight on this. That we saw AMC really run away from the game with the game last game, and Ping Diff decided that they would prioritize the AMC again, but they wouldn't give it over to the Sparkfire who really shone in the last game. Do you think that it's more that they wanted to make sure that Sparkfire has this Artemis to be that late game hyper carry again, or do you think that the AMC mid is going to be really powerful here?
It's just Matt. Matt just said, I want to play AMC, give it to me.
And
that's 100% what happened. I don't want to say it in a bad way, it's just, yeah, he's that sort of person. And a
you can't fault him for it. You know, it's still a 0-0-0 stat line to start off the game, but we've seen Matt really hold down this mid lane and control a lot of space for Ping Diff early. As you say, farming up pretty well, getting that gold lead in hand for the team, and also finishing off this Transcendence before your opposing mid laner even has an item online. That's gonna feel great to get those stacks up early.
Yes, especially against the Baba Yaga. If he manages to complete Trans before Baba completes anything, then yeah, that will be hats off to him.
Lina showing some face over in the solo lane. It looks like they are gonna head over to this blue buff, which is respawning. Not gonna be there for the steal. Instead, looking to see if there's any back camps that they can take. Nothing available to them. Able to get the root down onto the AMC, and here comes the leap. Pounce not good enough for any damage. Benadryl Barry getting out of this one again, and now healthy as it looks like Big Man Jesus is called that it's time to re-engage. Getting some damage down onto Mitch, but Mail of Renewal and Xingqian passive, I don't think that damage is going to really stick at this point.
I mean, it's still going to be there, still going to do its thing, but I'm regretting not seeing this solve, as I said.
I think that was such a good pull early, and it's possible it comes out second item, but that early impact is going to be lost into the powwow. Though goes Big Man Jesus. Doesn't look like any of those chains connected.
Used from Lina.
Did able to get the beads though, and they're going to be paying attention to that. I feel like in days of old, getting the beads from Bastet was a big deal because of the old Bastet kit not having the CC immunity on the ult, but now that Huntress of Bast gives you that CC immunity, are you as worried about losing your beads if you're Lina here?
No, as you've just said, if I'm Bastet, I don't worry that much about beads. Just hope your ult will come off cooldown soon, and if not, hope that you can outplay with your up downs on a leap.
Yeah, some good iframes on those as well. As we are heading towards 10 minutes here, and we are in peak EU smite. As no kills on the board for either team, but this route onto Ginger Archer is pretty good. Able to use the health chalice to just about get away here, and the team is on their way to disrespect the 1v1. Tusky comes out stunningly, a stunning Vile Blood Mitch, but it's Ginger Archer in the Astral Barrage who gets first blood over onto Sparkfire. The walls from Mr. Nacho are just going to be offline, and here comes the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel picking up the Cabrakan. Able to tank up a lot of this damage, and I don't think it's going to be nearly enough, although the chase is on from Lina. Slow. CC, Huntress of Bats, comes out, and they are able to lock down Mr. Nacho and kill him. But that's a lot of resources committed there by Hakai to get the kill.
Here's what I'm wrong with. Miranda's was sitting on... this might be...
Oh, this could be another kill. Benadryl Valor forced to burn the beads there to get away from the home sweet home. But I think you quite happily trade that. This, even if you're not getting kills, I think AMC just being alive and accruing a lead is so important to what Ping Different doing.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to ramble on for a moment. Back in Picking Bands, Miranda's was sitting on a god with an anti-root community in his kit. He was playing a god that can practically just walk into lane, clear, and do whatever he wants for the next 20 seconds until the next wave arrives.
Sure.
Himself, he changed that over in the very last pick over into Zonkoi, who can be rooted by Big Joe. Big Joe having opted for I forget that starter item's name, I'm sorry, but instead of Tainted Steel, which I believe Tainted Steel or
Conduit Gem for Big Joe.
Conduit Gem. Yes, it will give him a little bit of flair, but I believe he needs it to reduce Zonkoi's sustain. I don't know, decisions have been made this game, but I think both teams could have read up on.
It does feel like some interesting decisions have been made. Whirlwind of Rage is still coming out again. Big Bad Jesus opening up the fight with a kill onto Ginger Archer. Not a lot of follow-up aggression, but instead, the Huntress of Bats through the wall onto Benadryl Barry. But do you have the damage to get the finishing kill there, Lina? Instead, you have to flee, and you lose the beads as well. So Ping Diff making themselves known, turning around the first, or their second engagement of the game, able to claim back one, and getting a kill onto Ginger Archer to even up this lane again. Gonna feel pretty good, and they're able to get the oracles as well. This is a nice little fight there for Ping Diff.
It is, but I think slowly but surely, if they're not careful, Hakai could take away something here. Oh, I mean, I thought they were going to take Pyro.
It does feel like the opportune moment to get Pyro, but I guess
I saw all 4 players of Ping Diff around Pyromancer right now, and they just opted to go back to their own lanes.
I suppose if you don't know where the enemy jungler is, maybe you don't want to risk that, because the Pyro debuff can really hurt.
And
if you've got that stuck
on that side of the map. So yeah. Good
and
call.
do you think though you're expecting to see something soon from them with this double hunter comp, but instead Hakai are the ones starting up this Pyromancer, and it's going slowly for them, and the Ping Diff are now on their way, not choosing to aggress onto Ping Diff, or onto Hakai, it looks like, as the Magi's bubble that was around Mr. Nacho is popped. And Hakai get in and get out pretty cleanly with that one.
I think they just saw 4 members of Ping Diff backing the base, and their immediate response was Pyromancer.
Do you like that call?
At the moment too late. Yes, that was beautiful.
Yeah, as we see this gold lead, not quite fully evened out, but Hakai really grasping their way back into this one. But looks like they are going to scrap around this red buff as Ping Diff are positioned aggressively, and they are able to get the steal away. And Vile Blood Mitch low on their life, sneering out. Howlow grabs 2, but looks like they're going to get the CC immunity out from both of them. Home Sweet Home stuck behind the walls. That's a lot of damage coming through, but Mr. Nacho on his own doesn't have what it takes. And both members going to get out there, but Ginger Archer is spotted out trying to take a flank, and is going to be forced to fall back. And they may have lost out on the Pyromancer of Ping Diff now gathered up around this Gold Fury. It looks like the Caledonian Boar was, no, not used just yet, but lots of members in the region for Hakai. They aren't going to be able to contest that, so Ping Diff get a couple of ults out from Hakai and get the Gold Fury.
The ults. All the ults actually from Hakai.
Yeah.
They can't count Arceus.
Maybe RTO switch stance at some point in there, so we can say it was all
sure.
ults.
I can most definitely assure she switched stances at some point.
I think RTO players, they have to compulsively switch stance, otherwise they don't feel like they're alive, right? You got to press
Just
4 every now and
walking
then.
down from base to tower. Yeah, I know. I at least swapped 3 to 4 times.
Yep. So
There's nothing to do.
every ult used there by Hakai, and the Gold Fury going down for Ping Diff, and I think that's the most significant lead we've seen all game now, about 1k, 2k gold for Ping Diff. Yeah, the highest gold lead for them, and we've seen what this team can do when they get even a small lead, so things looking pretty good for Ping Diff here.
Yeah, things are looking great. This Bastet really needs to be looking for AMC over and over again. In fact, she's just had to use her beat. Wait, no.
It may have been the ult, because beads are up.
Yes,
but...
that was her ultimate.
Oh, not quite hitting on the stun there from the aggression with Ping Diff. They are able to look for these mid harpies. I was thinking about what you just said about having to look for the AMC over and over again. As perhaps a little boxing match picking up here in the duo lane. Nope, both hunters instead just looking to farm. It can be a blessing and a curse for a jungler when there's that obvious target on the enemy team, because sometimes you get a lot of those kills, but other times
Here's the issue.
tunnel vision.
You go for it. The ADC with no dash, the mid laner with no dash, or the solo laner with no dash.
Oh, well. Powlau committed early here from Big Man Jesus, only able to pick up the enemy support, but the enemy support is going to get shredded. Whirlwind of Rage and Steel picks up Big Man, or picks up Benadryl Barry, sorry, does get the beads, which is impressive patience there from Ping Diff's backliner. But now Mr. Nacho caught out in a little bit of trouble, able to sustain through it thanks to the help from Mail of Renewal, and it feels like Ping Diff are able to play pretty recklessly right now. Nothing dissuading them from these aggressive plays.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I mean, as long as they are ripped up around Gabrakin with the Gabrakin passive, AMC and Artemis in the back line just poking. Oh. Man, it's just good. I did not see this happening, but we were not paying attention to the map.
It
I'm
looks
sorry.
like perhaps Hakai weren't respecting the 1v1 there, as Lena able to take advantage and get the kill over onto Mirandus.
And Joe surviving with 200 HP.
Yeah,
Nacho was to blink away.
Yeah, Nacho, not the healthiest right now for that kind of play onto the obelisk. Do you like how recklessly it feels like Ping Diff are playing? Because last game we praised their patience, we praised their safety in their farming, and this game they've been playing similarly in that we've seen a lot of farm, but it feels like Ping Diff have been committing to every single little bit of opportunity that Hakai have shown them.
I love reckless plays. Even if they aren't the most sensible ones, I love seeing teams try something new. I love to see when it pays off. Of course, we see people try something new every day and then just immediately die, but, well, that's also something we'd like to see.
Sometimes you've just got to throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And for Ping Diff, it's sticking right now, although their lead getting cut somewhat by Hakai, especially with that last kill. Mr. Nacho, uncontested here, stealing the obelisk away. And that's going to be another trebuchet over to Ping Diff. Do you want to see these launched now, or do you want to see them build up for a little bit later in the game?
I wouldn't mind the teams waiting for their turns. Oh!
Hold that thought. Powlau, Shane's not connecting, but did get the beads out from Lena? Yeah, beads and Aegis down for the Bastet. And whilst they weren't able to capitalize on that to get a kill in mid lane, they are going to turn it around and grab a Pyromancer here for themselves. Mr. Nacho, though, is deep in enemy territory. Does get out with the Magi's bubble, but blown up by Official Cheater. And now the fight does seem to be falling apart for both these teams, choosing to disengage and try and get some farm back for both teams. So that's another kill in favor of Hakai, but
I'm
more
sorry,
gold
I
in
just
favor
saw.
of Ping Diff.
I am sorry, I just saw a level 12 support trapped between a level 17 ADC and a level 17 solo laner, and oh, I feel that's very unfortunate position into matchup.
It really is, and talking about unfortunate positioning here, Vile Blood Mitch getting caught out by the hail of arrows, no less, and then Sparkfire taking down the Gold Fury too. Pingdef may have lost the first engagement here of that little skirmish, but coming back to capitalize on that, that's gotta feel great for Sparkfire.
That is wow. I'm I'm shocked as to what is happening, as to what is happening with these supports. They have hardly been dying, yet they are so far behind in XP compared to the enemy ADCs. I don't see how they can expect to walk into a team fight and do more than the team fight.
It feels like, do you think with all of the scrapping that we've seen in this game, like it's a lot more brawly of a game than game one? And do you think these supports are just being stretched so thin that there's not really time for them to farm?
Well, that and this game. Oh, what's going on?
Oh, yep. There comes the Hunters of Vast, and it's going to be Big Joe who's caught out here for the first kill. Big Man Jesus able to get the damage, but it looked like the Stinger was committed there as well. That kill over onto Big Joe, it looks like they might be able to get this tier 1 tower on right lane. Just official Cheeto left to defend, although here comes Viral Blood Mitch, and they could set something up here, but these are two tanky members of the enemy team. Home Sweet Home coming down. It's going to be a lot of damage coming out from the flames as official Cheeto is chased out even further by Mirandas, but Mirandas is now caught out, and there are 3 members surrounding Jean-Qui. Lina able to get the kill. That's going to pad their XP a little bit and help out Mr. Nacho. Forced to run away again. Good route coming out here from Lina, and there's the damage coming out from Ginger Archer. The shots are true, and Ginger Archer able to put Mr. Nacho in the dirt for a 3rd time.
So, someone needs to explain to Nacho that that's not how Manticore Spec works. If you pick up the Spec from the ground, it doesn't deal damage immediately. You then need to apply another ability to the enemy that you first hit with your CC.
Yes.
So running around picking up spikes and not actually using abilities afterwards on the enemy is not doing anything to help your team. Meanwhile, Mirandas walked in too far, did not pay attention to Nacho falling behind, and walked in alone. He got the kill, yes, but I think he was not worth. He was worth more XP and gold at that moment.
But you don't want your support just playing the spikes minigame, where you just drop as many spikes as possible, pick them up, and do nothing.
And then run away.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
not
not the
very
purpose
happy
of
with
this
that
item.
play. That is okay. Moving on. Another thing, an ADC that I would not be team fighting against right now is Ginger Archer, because both these supports have built health and health and health. I think they have a total of... Oh, no, wait, they finally have some protections in these last items. But what they most had was health. Ginger Archer caught up on this and built Quinsai's 3rd item.
Yeah, well, I like Shinsai's in this slot anyway if you're going the Transcendence Exy build, but with all of the health that is in the game right now, but I think you're right to see it picked up here. Interestingly, crit on the other side for Sparkfire. Maybe we can get into that in a little bit, but right now, Fire Giant going down the way of Ping Diff, and they may be behind in kills, but they are 8k up in gold, and they want to fight now. Good stun to peel Mr. Nacho away from the rest of the team, and it looks like Tusky is also going to miss on everything here. Huntress of Bast, though, coming through, forcing the Powl out from Big Man Jesus. Chains miss as well, and that's a hell of a lot of ults from both sides, but the real victim here is going to be Hakai's tier 1 tower. No kills for either team, but a lot committed. I still think you have to favor Ping Diff coming out there, though. Good take of the objective. All 5 members still having FG. This has got to be their time to shine.
Yeah, yes, definitely. This is, again, good restraint from Ping Diff right now. Just falling back, take the Pyromancer, take whatever jungle we can along the way. go by and heal up. Although Nacho should have stuck around. Oh no, Nacho has stuck around. He needs to be farming a little bit right now. Same to Vile Blood Mage. Like, you cannot walk into a fight against level 20 enemies at level 14.
No.
I'm sorry, Mitch, but be careful.
I feel like perhaps it's a little bit better for the Xingqian with the ability to double leap away, and also you have Whirlwind of Rage and Steel, which is going to do the same thing regardless of what level you're at, whereas Cabrakan absolutely can't just be walking up hoping not to die immediately.
And with Compassion, that is
Yeah.
going to really hurt him.
Can I just get on my soapbox briefly about Compassion here?
Go ahead.
I hate Compassion and Blink on the same god.
It's so annoying.
I
I know where you're going with this. Yes, it is. Oh my god.
to the point where if I'm playing a god where I think I need Blink, I'm going Sentinels regardless. I hate it so much. and I know I shouldn't criticize our comp players, they are better than me, but I just this is
the comp players have their own decisions. We respect them. But
It's
just
just
personally,
it's an item combination I hate to see.
yes, I agree. I agree. It just you can never blink when you want to.
Nope. But I imagine if you're Mr. Nacho, you feel like you can get away with just about anything right now, as Hakai are down to their Phoenix line. All of their towers have been taken. Trebuchet pushing away in the right lane. Ping Diff grouped up in the left lane, and their siege has got to feel pretty good. Double Hunter is going to take down things pretty easily, and AMC clears out waves like nobody's business. But
I
it
feel
looks
like Nacho is just asking his team to back up for a second and stop taking poke so he can blink in.
And he is waiting for that blink to come off cooldown, because you really need Nacho as you're engaged. You're engaged with a Zhong isn't great, and the Zhong doesn't have blink either, so they are really just waiting for someone to start this fight. And all the time that you're stuck waiting, that Fire Giant buff is ticking away. Oh, Liner is going in over on Big Man Jesus. We've got a fight breaking out on the split. Oh, Big Man Jesus into the powwow, down to about 10% HP. Gonna get the beats out from Liner. Liner gonna miss on the Huntress of Bass, but the cat does come out, gets the kill. That's gonna be big here. You're taking out the jungler, and that's Powwow is your other engage, I guess, if you're Ping Diff. So Ping Diff down a member. It's a 5v4 for Hakai on this defense. That's a really good spot there for Lina.
That was very well played. She just hung around waiting on the powwow. Ping Diff took way too long to react and go help his team member. That was a great play from Lina.
Really, really great. And now it looks like Ping Diff getting a little bit desperate here, and Mr. Nacho taking a lot of poke from the Phoenix around us, also taking a lot of poke. Whirlwind of Rage is still going to throw Mr. Nacho back in, but just enough time bought by these frontliners for the double Hunter backline to take down the Phoenix. But with the Fire Giant buff now wearing off and health bars low for two crucial members of Ping Diff, Hakai, I think, made a really great play there.
That is. I think this is a winning play for Hakai. Yeah, definitely. Lina being patient right now.
And we should draw attention to Lina. Game 1 on the Loki didn't look great, but 4-2 on this Bastet. Lina's been a decisive member of this team for Hakai.
Yeah, most definitely. She is proving herself to be incredibly bad.
Now, if you're Hakai, you just staved off that assault from Ping Diff. You're presumably looking to stem the bleeding right now, but what is the next step to getting back into this game?
You caught me there. I would not know what to say for either team. This Fire Giant seems like a easiest call right now. It's what I'm just looking at. Like,
yeah, and there is no one here.
No one around. That's a great best start, you know, towards winning the game.
Yeah, I feel like Hakai really dropped the ball on that one as a team, because after that last play, I think we were so ready for the comeback to start here for Hakai, and Ping Diff taking down the Fire Giant. They've got it on all 5 members, and now they can just go where they please. I imagine we'll see a similar split to last time. Waves are in there.
in that
favor.
position. If I were Hakai in that position, I would have sent out Fire Blood Mage and Ginger to try and snipe it from far away.
Yeah, it's not every day that we see Ram snipes take down a fire giant, but it's also not like something that never happens, right?
I mean, it's definitely better than just standing around and doing nothing, I believe.
Well, we're gonna see some standing around here. Lena and Big Man Jesus picking up where they left off, but this time Big Man Jesus getting the better of the engagement around us is going in. Mr. Nacho gets caught out a little bit, but it doesn't matter because the double hunter backline is just too strong. They take down the Phoenix, and now it looks like they are looking for blood. Lots of damage going down onto Ginger Archer, but they are heading now over into the mid Phoenix. Mr. Sparkfire being the one to take down the Phoenix. Mr. Nacho not really hitting anything with that stun there, but does get to be the one there right as the Phoenix goes down, get a little bit of gold for the support. And now it looks like they're going to heal up and head back towards the Primal Fury. All three Phoenixes down. Things are going to be tough now for Hakai. You've not got really any point of focus that you can defend other than that Titan root. But they do have a little bit of time to catch their breath. And that left Phoenix is going to be respawning soon. I feel like I'm trying to buy any kind of hope here for Hakai, but things look bleak to me, Gordon.
Things are looking bleak. Ping Diff are here proving that kills do not matter right now. We have all the enemy Phoenixes and 3 kills down. What more could you ask for?
And not only that, Ping Diff have secured a 14k gold lead with a fire giant buff on all of their members on top of that. There's a lot to like about this position of your Ping Diff, but they're being careful not to overstay their welcome at any point on the map. Guys, Phoenix has respawned, so they have potentially somewhere to start staging a defense around, but that Phoenix has seen better days. It is not looking particularly healthy, so if Ping Diff strike now, that Phoenix isn't going to be held up for long, and we see Big Man Jesus on the prowl, going to be forcing these waves down mid while the rest of the team grouped up over towards this left-hand lane. Mr. Nacho just able to get in there, take up shots from the Phoenix, and the Phoenix is popped immediately. It's going to be 5v5 as we head into the Titan room, but 3 fire waves are joining them. Huntress of Bats picks up Mr. Nacho's Magi's bubble, but it's not going to be enough to do anything else at this point. And it looks like Ping Diff just deciding to back off here. They're not ready to take on the Titan.
Why? I'm not sure why this is. Maybe they're just deciding, okay, we're all level 20 anyway, so just back off and wait for an actual enhanced fire giant. We've got the Phoenix. We're going to take the next FG. This is our mentals, but I do not agree with them. I would be looking for something, any sort of aggression, or
it feels like perhaps they want a pick or something. It feels like they're just not quite ready to commit to the Titan. But there's a part of this that feels like you're just playing with your food, right? Like,
yeah, your full build. You already have all the items. The enemy team doesn't. Why let them build? Like that, it's something seems off for me here.
An item lead in mid, an item lead in support, half an item in jungle and ADC, plus fully upgraded relics for everyone on the side of Ping Diff. This isn't just full build. This is as full build as you could possibly get, and instead just hanging around, just playing for time.
In the second week of the season, I don't think teams should be this careful. If you're not looking to take risks now, then you aren't going to be hoping for that much, for a lot more later on in the month. Taking risks now, you learn.
This is the time when you can take those risks. As you're saying, this is when you learn. This is when these are the games where you can throw it all away, taking a big risk to realize, hey, maybe we shouldn't do that when the games matter, right? That's what you're getting at here. And it feels like Ping Diff are playing this like it's a playoff set. And there's some merit to that. There's some merit to learning to play patiently, but at the same time, you don't want to let other teams build confidence against you.
Yeah, it's ooh.
Wild Blood Mitch getting this party started by falling to what felt like the fire giant there, and then Lena going down. And with Lena down, the fight is all but over for Hakai. It's going to be Ginger Archer falling, and it's Mr. Nacho picking up the kill here, and the retreat is on. Both of these members will be needed to defend the Titan. Two Phoenixes back, but they are dead, as it's going to be Sparkfire getting the kill onto this Phoenix, and then gonna be the two hunters looking to take down the Titan. Titan is under attack, but it's Big Joe trying to cause any kind of disruption that they can. Forced to burn the beads, and the Paladin's gonna come out. Gonna try and pick up both of them. Does bring in both, and Miranda's getting one kill. Sparkfire getting the second, and the Titan will fall for Ping Diff, picking up game number 2 in this set. Felt a little bit indecisive towards the end there, but when the decision was made, things paid off for Ping Diff.
That I that could have I don't know what to say. Hakai just went in alone. Two members of Hakai went in alone, died, and then the team couldn't defend against 5 enemies with EFG. It's I don't know what we expected would happen there when we're trying to defend so much.
It felt like some. I feel like that was almost a desperation play, and we can get into it with
Minions would
this.
have probably done a lot of damage to your Titan, but if you're not fighting a full 5v5 at that moment,
Yeah,
then you're never going to be able to do it.
exactly, and perhaps we can second guess some of that late game decision making all we want, but perhaps there's an element of with with Ping Diff playing so patiently, Hakai may have just got antsy and decided now or never, and that led to the wrong decision for them, and they get blown out in that last fight, and it just leads to everything falling apart.
Yeah, and well, obviously, well played to everyone on both teams.
Absolutely.
There was it was very close decisions at the start of the game, but ended up snowballing into a big lead for Pingdiv in both game 1 and 2. If you had to shout out to one of the players in both matches, who would it be?
I think for me, in game one, it was really Mirandus really impressed me. In game two, I think Sparkfire looked great. I think it's gonna feel weird to say uh, because Hakai were the losing team, but Lena really shone for me in that second game.
Yeah, I wanted to say the exact same. Even
Like
though her team lost, Lina really did do all she could for Hakai.
it feels so weird to say, but truly the standout player for me in that second game was Lena. Um,
But, in game 1 as well, she had quite a few jukes on the Loki. But
that's true. That's
amazing
true.
both. But game 2, I also saw her use, as I had said at the beginning, she used the up down on her jump very well to dodge a lot of abilities that I would have sworn would have just killed her at those moments.
Yeah,
Well played. From her.
lots to build on that for Hakai. Lots of I think lots of hope for future weeks for
Yeah.
them, but and also an impressive showing
In
for
fact,
Ping Diff.
yes, incredible from both teams once again. And if I'm Hakai right now, I would look into what happened with that XP farm in the beginning, especially in
Mhm.
game 1, because you can't be kills behind, and I mean have a few kills of lead, and still be behind in gold. Something has gone wrong there, and I would analyze that as a team and look into it. And for Pingdiff, I would consider taking a few more risks.
Mhm.
That was, yes, very well done. The safety, the restraint showed was amazing, but well,
Yeah, lots to think about for both of these teams heading into future weeks. Thank you so much for joining me on the cast tonight, Gordon. Thank you also to Albie for production this evening. Thank you for printers for the opportunities for all of us and for running the league. This has been Galaria's Smite League. It's been week 2 of our division. If you are interested in finding out about more, finding out about our next broadcasts, come and follow Galeria Smite on Twitter. give the stream a follow here on Twitch. Come and join us in Discord. The Discord link is on the screen. If you are interested in playing, that is also the place to be. I've been haunting. Gordon has been my chair too, but Albie has been on production. Thank you both. Have a great evening, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Cheers.